Okay, greetings, Peter. Welcome to Lesson 5. So this is Lesson 5 of our Paraclete Academy's Understanding Mathematics course, or Mathematic Fundamentals is another way to put that. The title of our lesson this week is Column Addition. So let's go ahead and start with the lecture. So let's use example A. Okay. So if we have two numbers here, we have 123, and we're going to add that to 236. We have some terminology here, right? Because math is a language, so it has its own grammar, its own syntax, its own vocabulary. In an addition problem, this number here is called an addend. Same thing with this number. All the numbers that you're going to add together are called addends. Okay. And the answer to an addition problem is called the sum or total. Okay. In this particular lesson, lesson 5, we're going to learn how to use addition in a column format. So some problems are written, and we'll cover this in a future lesson, horizontally. Okay. However, we're going to take this number and we're going to add it in a column fashion. Okay. And the way to do that is we have to take numbers, we have to take the addends, and we have to write them on top of each other, matching the place value. So for an example, this is the ones place value, this is the tens place value, this is the hundreds place value. With this number, we have the ones place value, the tens, and the hundreds. So we need to match our digits according to their place value. This is what that looks like. So since we're doing column addition, we're going to write 123, ones, tens, hundreds, and we're going to do the same thing here, 236. Okay, so we can't do this. We can't go 123 and what happens if we just decide to do this? This number would change because this would virtually be a 0. There would have to be a placeholder, right? So we couldn't leave that, and even here, you could do the same thing. It equals the same thing, even though there's no change in the value of the number here. This is a drastic change. This would go from 123 to 1,230. That's a completely different number. These are not the same problems. They're totally different problems. So we need to make sure that we are stacking our addends and matching the digits to their place value. So you're making these columns according to place value. The ones column, the tens column, and the hundreds column. So let's go ahead and let's do the math. Okay, so the definition of addition is it's the operation of finding the total of two or more numbers, or the sum of two or more numbers. So we're going to do that here. And we're going to add the numbers by column. So 6 and 3 we know to be 9. 3 plus 2 or 2 plus 3 we know to be 5. 1 plus 2 we know to be 3. So the sum of 123 plus 236 is 359. Okay, so another way that we would be doing this is with the example of money. So let's go example B, and let's continue. So now we have, since we're talking money, and we're talking American money or dollars, we'll use the dollar sign to signify that we're talking about money. So there's $134, and remember that the decimal allows you to say and 57 cents. And then we have $456.54, and we need to add that in a columnar fashion. So we're going to do the same thing. Okay. You have to remember to use the dollar sign, and we're going to go $134.57 plus $456.54. So note again, of course, we're lining up the decimals together, which kind of makes it easy. I know I have it written over here, but in reality, these are on top of one another. Okay, and that helps to make sure that the cents stay where they are, because that's a different kind of place value. It's not ones, tens, hundreds. It's not how it works. The decimal point, the digit that's to the immediate left of the decimal point, is the nearest whole number, or in this case, since we're talking money, the nearest dollar. Okay, so these are parts of a dollar, or fractions. That's why we're allowed to say and. But it's important that we remember that. Okay, so we need to, just like we did with this number here, we're going to line them up according to place value. And so now that we have our columns, now we can go ahead and we can add. So 7 and 4 is 11. So now here, since we're going to carry, we have to take that tens digit and put it over here. Okay. So now with this, we have 5 plus 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. But we have to remember this digit that we carried over. So 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. We're going to carry that. Don't worry about the decimal points. We're just going to bring it over. 6 plus 4 is 10. You should remember that from your facts, your sums of 10 that you've been memorizing and working on with your flashcard Fridays. 6 plus 4 equals 10, plus 1 is 11. We're going to bring that decimal point down because we need to do that. So that's 11. Carry the 1. Excuse me. 5 plus 3 we know to be 8, plus 1 is 9. And 1 plus 4 is 5. So the sum of $134.57 plus $456.54 is, and we have to remember the decimal and the dollar sign, $591.11. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm just going to, bring that down here so that you can see that. Okay, so we need to remember which are the add-ins. This is an add-in, this is an add-in, and which is the sum. The add-ins are the numbers that you add together. The total of that addition, or the answer to that, or the total of that, is called the sum. Okay? So from here, let's go ahead and let's do some class practice here, just so that we can remember and apply what we've learned so far. Okay? So the directions for class practice say copy and add. Check your work by adding upward and writing the check answer above the problem. For the first two, write addend or sum beside each number in the problems. So for an example, we have class practice. And in your textbook, this would actually be on page 22. Okay, so problem A is $823 plus 674. So for the first two, they want us to write what the numbers are. So in a math problem, more specifically, Peter, what are these numbers in an addition problem called? This number would be called an addend. This number is also called an addend. Any of the numbers that you're adding together is an addend. And then this number that we're about to determine is called the sum. So 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. And then 8 plus 6 is 14. Okay. So from here, remember, every 3 digits we're going to put a comma. Okay. And then circle our answer. So let's go ahead and let's do problem B. So here we have a money problem. We have $128, pardon me, and 45 cents plus $674.92. Okay, so we're going to write the numbers using the column form, right? So we match them up according to their place values, and sorry, just to make that very visible for you, we have to match the decimal points up. So that makes it easy for us to line up the money problems. And then we use the dollar sign. We could even just bring that down here so we don't forget about it later, and bring down the decimal. So 5 plus 2 is 7. 9 plus 4 is 13. So now we write down the ones part of that number, but we have to carry the 1. So 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So we write the 0, and then we have to carry the number, carry the 1. So we know that 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. Okay, so from here, and we're also supposed to write what these numbers, what these numbers are called. So this is an addend. This is also an addend. All the numbers that you add together are called addends, and then what we get after adding those together is called the sum. Okay. Now the directions here also says, check your work by adding upward and writing the check answer above the problem. So we can do that. So 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay. And then 9 plus 4 is 13. And we're going to carry the 1. We could actually put that right here. So 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. And then we got the 1 right here. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Then we have the 1. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. And we see that these numbers are the same. Okay. So I actually think that the other check is better, but the reason why they're not doing that other check is because within the lesson you haven't encountered subtraction yet. So they're just showing you how to double add it and then compare the answers to make sure. Okay? So let's continue. We're almost done. So if we take 29 we take 12, we take 46, we take 33, we take 81, and then 27. And we add them all together. Let's take a look at this and see what we have. Okay, so one of the things that we can remember very quickly is that when we use sums of 10, it helps us to figure out the problem. So we know that 3 and 7 are 10. We know that 9 and 1 are 10. So this is 10, and then this is 10, so that's 20. And then we have 6 plus 2, which is 8. So we're going to say 28. So I'll just show you how I did that again. So 7 and 3 we know to be 10. And we're going to hold that in our brains. And then 9 and 1 we know to be 10. Right? So here we have 8. So 10 plus 10 we know to be 20. Plus 8, 6, 7, 8 is 28. So see how memorizing those sums of 10 really helps us to do this math quickly. So from here, we know that 8 and 2 is 10. And then we have 3 and 4 is 7. And then, so this is 7. And then 1 and 2 is 3, right? So that's another 10. 3 and 4 is 7. 7 and 3, well, that's 10. So that's another 10. And then we have another 2 here. So that's 10 and 10 is 20. Plus 2 is 22. Okay. So if you're not exactly sure how I did that, I just used sums of 10 and then I added everything else to it. So for an example, 9 and 1 is 10. I just hold that in my brain. 7 and 3 is 10, so now that's 20. I have this left, so I have 20 that I'm holding in my brain, and then I have 8 here, and then I'm just adding the 8 to the 20 and I get 28. And it's the same thing over here, so 8 and 2 is 10. 3 and 4 is 7, and 1 and 2 is 3. 7 and 3 is 10. So 8 and 2 is 10. This all together is 10, another 10, so 10 plus 10 is 20. Plus 2 is 22. And that's my answer. Okay, almost done. Let's keep going. Okay, so from here, 2,450... 6,089, 1,132, 9,788. Okay, so let's go ahead. So we look here, and we see 8 and 2 is 10. Hey, so we got to remember that really helps us do math quickly. So 8 and 2 is 10, plus 9 is 19. So now we bring down the 9, we carry the 1. So here we have some additional numbers. So 8 and 8 is 16. 16 plus 3 is 19. Okay. And then plus 1 is 20. And then 5 is 25. So I'll show you again. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 3 is 19, plus 1 is 20, and then 20 plus 5 is 25. Okay, and so when I have 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 1 is 10, and then I add 4 to the 10, that's 14. 9 plus 1, hey, that's 10. And then 6 plus 2 is 8, so that's 18, plus 1 is 19. And there's our answer. So the reason why and I'm just showing you how to use those sums of 10 what you've been memorizing them for to make your math a lot easier to do. Okay? So I'll just put that there for a moment so you have a way to copy that for your notes. And then remember, I'll scan these so that you'll have them available for you as well. So the last class practice problem that we have is 63,724, 18,296, 52,705, 40,382, 11,864. Oh no, a lot of big numbers, right? Oh man, these are 10,000s types of numbers, right? And there's a whole bunch of them. Man, how are we going to do this? Same way we've been doing it before. So we're going to look for sums of 10. Hey, that's 10. 6 plus 4 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. 12 plus 5, that's 17. So 17 plus 4 is 21. Okay, so let's continue. Hey, 8 and 2, that's 10. Great. Plus 9 is 19. Plus 2 is 21. Plus 6 is 27. Okay, carry the 2. So, oh hey, 8 and 2 is 10. Hey, 3 plus 7 is 10, so 10 and 10, that's 20, right? And then 27, and then plus 2 is 29. Not so hard after all when we remember our sums of 10. So here we go. 8 and 2 is 10. Hey, that's great. Plus 1 is 11. Plus 3 is 14. Plus 2 is 16. Let's keep going. So, oh hey, 6 and 4, that's 10. Plus 5 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. Plus 1 is 17. Plus 1 is 18. So this is 186,971. Okay? So let's go ahead and let's assign you. So we had Labor Day weekend. We had a 3-day weekend. And then I just had a problem in getting the course material to you on Tuesday. So we do have a rather stacked day. Okay? So going over your assignments with you. Let's see if we can help you with that. So Wednesday, tomorrow, you'll have this lecture. You'll do your Lesson 4 review. You'll watch the Lesson 5 lecture. You'll watch the class practice, which I've combined these two. You'll do Lesson 5 written exercises, Section A, problems 1 through 23, every odd. That's located on page 22 and 23. That'll be due. So this is this assignment will be for Wednesday. So it'll be due that night for you to submit and turn in. Okay. And then you'll continue through. So for math, you'll do Lesson 5 written exercises, Section B, problems 24 through 27, all of those, page 23, and it'll be due that same night. And then just a heads up here, for Friday, you have a quiz, your very first quiz, Lesson 5 quiz covering rounding and place value. So you may want to take a little bit of time to review your lesson reviews for those subjects so that you remember how to do those. You want to do good on your quizzes, okay? And then, of course, you have Lesson 5, written exercises, sections C through G. So I wrote written exercises, but they're actually review exercises. And you'll want to get those taken care of, okay? All right. So if you certainly have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach out to me via Canvas inbox or through text since I'm at work. But don't hesitate to reach out to me, okay? All right, son. Have a good night.